I think a lot of people were glad that I said this, right? I mean, like there were a lot. Like I've been seeing this post go all around social media a lot, and this is what I said. You can be groomed for sure. No, and that's a good point, right? Is that like that's why I said as an adult is because like if you're a kid and like you get fed a lot of propaganda and like messaging, like I feel like every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. Yeah, that's what I believe. And so, like, I really, and this, you got a kid that's like 17, right? I mean, it's a little bit more, you know, it's like not really as definitive. But like, if you have a kid that's like pre-puberty and they're trans, your parents have a mental illness. And this is something that a lot of people need to hear. It is. It's something a lot of people need to hear. In school, yeah, no, you're right. And it could also be a school. And it's not always the parents. Sometimes it's a school too. But there's an adult with a mental illness in your life. That's a great point. And so anyway, a lot of people were posting this trying to act like, oh, wow, like, you know, we're going to try to get him in trouble for this shit. Like, I'm sorry, but this is like a 90-10 issue. This is like beyond even 80-20. Like, everybody fucking thinks this. The only reason that nobody's saying it is because people are afraid of saying it. The fact is that, like, I don't really give a shit because, like, I mean, fuck, like, I people hate me all the time, right? So, like, there's nothing to lose. But the fact is that it's a 99-1. It's an extreme situation, and especially like we're talking about, like, you know, I said like pre-puberty, and this is really the logic, right? Is that so pretty much you have like the idea of being trans is tied to gender roles, but when you don't even understand what your own gender role is because it doesn't exist because you're pre-puberty and you haven't even, you know, gone through any sort of like sexual development at all, how could you know that you don't have, how could you know that this is not correlated to what you want? Well, guess what? The reason why is because you have an adult whispering in your ear telling you it's not. And that's really the reason. Trans is not the same as attraction. No, but in order to understand gender roles, you have to understand what gender is. And do kids understand that? No, they don't. So how could they understand that they're not a gender if they don't even have a full understanding on what gender is? How does that work? Wait a minute. I know how it works. It's because they're getting fed weird shit by adults. That's the reason why. That's how it is. Most adults anymore. Yeah, you seen the Fleek video? I'm going to watch it later on. I haven't gotten around to it, but we're going to watch it. Don't worry about it. Leave the kids alone. I know. It's crazy. It's almost like people who want to groom kids will try to put themselves around kids. It almost is. I don't really make that correlation. And the funny thing is that people said that what I said was transphobic. Do you know what? You want to know the real people that I think are transphobic? Are the ones pushing this stuff. Because this is the kind of stuff that's going to alienate average people against trans people that just want to live their lives as adults as the other gender. This is the kind of stuff that radicalizes people. So, in fact, in a lot of ways, by me saying this, you know, I'm actually trying to help trans people and say, listen, this is not something that people want. This is not something people believe in. Stop trying to get behind this cause and stop pushing this, because if you do, you're going to ruin the whole thing. And that's what's already happening. So it's a soapboxing. It is. And, you know, I view myself as an inoculation, you know, like people hear a little bit of something they don't like, and hopefully they're going to be better off in the long term because of it. But the fact is that, you know, this is a losing proposition. It's a losing argument. People don't agree with this. Most people think it's gross. And honestly, if you go and you do this, you're going to have a lot of problems with a lot of people. All transphobes will be banned. No transphobes will be unbanned. They did this on an anonymous account because they didn't want to get held accountable for which individual person did it. And that's number one. Number two, well, I'm here that I should soapbox a little. My personal pet peeve is the performative ally, someone who wants the medal, someone who wants to be called tolerant but refuses to do the work. You're talking about people that refuse to do the work? You're moderating a subreddit. How can you even say this? Like, you want to talk about performative ally, and you're talking down on people as a moderator for a subreddit? Are you kidding me? What the fuck are you talking about? Look in the goddamn mirror. It's amazing. We shouldn't let medical professionals decide what children are allowed to get. That decision is up to layman bigots. I love this. Someone who wants to be as nice of a person, but who still wants to make that genocidal comment about how there are no trans. It's a genocidal comment that there are no trans kids. Bro, 10 years from now, genocide is going to be getting the wrong food whenever you get a fucking order at McDonald's. God, bro, they are watering this shit down so hard. They are watering this down. Like, this is genocidal comment. What are we even talking about? Like, this is crazy. How do you do this? Yes. Oh my God. Genociders in chat. This is crazy. We shouldn't let medical professionals decide the treatment that children are allowed to get, with decisions up to layman bigots. You know what layman bigots is? There's another term for that in this context. It's called the parents. But no, if you post transphobic language, I'll ban you. Because you are worse than an open bigot, you want the accolades. Be very clear. Gender identity develops throughout the ages of 3 to 5. Gender identity develops between the ages of 3 to 5. Everybody knows that's not true. Yeah, everybody knows that. You can't fully understand what it means to be a male or a female until you are at least a teenager, because you haven't even gone through puberty. I just don't understand how somebody can even say this, right? I mean, like, that comment made me sick. Well, the reason why is because these people think this is normal. What medical treatment a child can have is between them, the parents, and the medical professionals treating them. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. There are a lot of things that a child can't consent to, even with parental consent, and that's a good thing. Think about how many parents would sign their kids up for disgusting things, but we have laws against it that protect the children because it's for the greater good. And this is also for the betterment of kids in a general state. Thank God for that. We already went through all of this. Like, I just don't understand how, like, somebody can think, like, we can all be on the same page that, like, a kid shouldn't get a tattoo. Like, a kid at 6 years old probably shouldn't get a tattoo. Now, I guarantee you that there are kids that at 6 years old wanted to get a tattoo, and then at 21, they got a tattoo. So they wanted it their whole life, and they got the tattoo. That's right. But that doesn't mean that just because of that, and people giving, like, their opinions on it, doesn't mean you get to go back and do it. Yeah, uranium mines. I know. Why not? Let them drive a car, too. Despite endless lives from turf, puberty blockers are safe, reversible, and have less lasting side effects than giving no treatment would have. How could no treatment have side effects? What? What the hell are you talking about? Transitioning saves lives. Transitioning earlier means being able to transition more successfully. Well, let me go. Well, let's think about this in the right way. So if transitioning saves lives and transitioning earlier is better, and you think gender identity develops around 3 to 5, should 3-year-olds be getting transitioned? Should 5-year-olds be getting transitioned? Uh-oh. That's an FBI moment. And it should be. Where do these people come from? He said, yes, by their logic. Yeah, by their logic. That's a weird thing to say. Why are these trans pushers so goddamn brain dead? I really feel bad for average, well-adjusted trans people. And before you go and start making, like, negative statements, I'm not transphobic. You can go and keep in mind, I say this before I say it again. Try to find me a situation in my whole fucking life. I've been on the internet my whole fucking life where a gay person, a trans person, or anyone with a different gender identity ever had a bad experience with me in their fucking life. You won't. Because that's not how I am. It wasn't how I was whenever I was a kid even. Zero. It's fucking zero. I don't have problems like that with people. I never have. I feel bad for a lot of the well-adjusted, reasonable, adult trans people that are getting lumped in with these freaks and these virtue signors that are using their cause as a soapbox to push an ideology that 90% of people think that you're a fucking pedophile for. What are we talking about? And I feel bad for them because they're going to lose their rights. They're like, trans people are getting a ton of hate because of these fucking freaks. These people that want to say gender identity develops around the age of 3 to 5 and transitioning earlier is the reason why that's better, right? I mean, you put 2 and 2 together, that's it. Child abuse where they cross the line. Yeah, exactly. LGBT are sick of the TQ+. The normal T is sick of this insane T. What I'm saying is that there is even a rift inside of this specific group of people. This is crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's giving trans adults a bad name. Yes, exactly. Like, you guys know, like, I respect people's pronouns. I treat them with respect and dignity. I treat everybody with respect and dignity. And it doesn't matter if somebody is a man, a woman, even a Karen. Even a Karen, I'll respect them with dignity until they start acting like a Karen. Then it's different. But, you know, somebody's got fucking in a wheelchair, trans, they're bald, they're fat. Everybody deserves being treated right the way. But this is with kids, and this is different. I've never seen a T be against doing it to kids. Do you have examples? I do, but they're private conversations I've had with people. Yeah. There's actually a lot of people that think that. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I do, but, like, I mean, I don't have, like, a fucking list, right? I don't have, like, a, you know, a notepad with, like, oh, there's, like, 5 of them, right? Caitlyn Jenner, Blair White. Yeah, I mean, there you go, right? And so there's a number of examples. I don't know, 3, shut the fuck up, chatter, touch grass, and talk to people. You learn they aren't insane. Yeah. Most trans people just want to be able to, like, a lot of trans people, being trans isn't their whole life, right? And so, like, for them, like, I feel like really, I feel bad for them. I do. It's sad. They just want to live their life. Exactly. And so, like, you have these people, like, these people are going to speedrun getting gay marriage revoked. I'm going to be honest. They're going to speedrun getting gay marriage revoked. They're going to speedrun identifying yourself as male or trans or, like, whatever as identity theft. They're going to speedrun forcing people to not be able to do this. This is what's going to happen. It's already happening. It is, because people are tired of it. People are tired of having people tell them that your 7-year-old child knows what they need to do with their biology better than their parents do. Yeah, they don't want to hear that at all. You're correct. However, it's up to the T's to police the radicals and group publicly with shame, which they do not do. Doing it privately isn't enough. I understand your point of view, and I think that you have a little bit of credibility of what you're saying, but I don't think it's that simple. And I'll give you an example of that, which is J.K. Rowling. I know she's not trans, but just listen along. J.K. Rowling was beloved by the woke community, right? The 2014 woke community, they all loved her because she was a huge feminist. But the moment that she went against this one thing with being trans and said being trans is not the same as being born a woman, which everybody knows this is true, especially biologists. And so the fact is that she got excommunicated. And now they hate her more than if she had never agreed with them to begin with. So don't be surprised when a person, this is also the truth, is that trans people, do you want to know one of the reasons why trans people have high rates of suicide? It's because society treats them like fucking shit. That's one of the reasons. And so when you have somebody who categorically is signing up for getting harassed, hated, and fucked with for their whole life, and they decide, you know what, maybe I don't want to sign up to get attacked by this massive group of people. Not always? Wow, not always. Thanks a lot for that. I didn't... Wow, okay, thank you so much. And so anyway, cause or correlation, if you think that the level of public acceptance is not relative at all to suicide rates of being trans, I think you're being willfully dishonest. You're being willfully dishonest. Of course it is. And so anyway, that being said, these people just don't want to sign up to get harassed again. They get harassed on a daily basis. They get harassed in their life. There are people, the majority of the world is transphobic. They are fighting a losing battle just fucking by signing up for this to exist in this way, period. Nobody is responsible for pushing away another group of people that they're not related to. One trans person is not responsible for for another trans person's behavior. The same way, like, you know, some white person shoots up a school, all white people aren't responsible for that. Some Islamic person blows themselves up in some terrorist shit, all Muslims aren't responsible for that. Some fucking, like, I'm trying to think, like, I could come up with 50 other ones, right? With these, like, racial stereotypes and shit like this. Some woman does, like, you know, some woman lies about, like, a rape charge, and then, you know, all other women aren't responsible for that. You're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for what you do, and that's it. And so anyway, yeah. And you choose to be trans, though? Yeah, you do. Of course you do. Sure. But yeah, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mental state of a mod. Yeah, and I really feel bad because I know where this is going. I know where this is going. You guys know where this is going too. We all know where this is going. This is going back to 1995 family values. Yep. Identity politics are pushed forward by mainstream media because it keeps people distracted from class warfare.
How are you going to get people to stop being trans?
I think we're going to tell boys that they're not girls.
So we're
going
to tell boys that they're not girls, and they're going to listen.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we've done for most.
Yeah.
Of history.
That happened to me, and I can promise you to God that I didn't listen.
Yeah, well.
What a surprise. Something that usually works doesn't always work.
Well, because we live at a time that is affirming the transgender delusion. But if we lived at a more sensible time, probably you would have listened, and you might have had some. And I think we should just return to a more sensible kind of politics.
But how? What is yours? You're not giving a solution on how you would even be capable of doing
I think I am.
I'm pretty sure he's giving the solution very plainly.
We kick the fellas out of the boys' bathroom. We kick the transgender teaching out of schools.
How
are you going to do that? That's easy. What do you mean?
We just enforce the law as it was before 2015.
There was a law prohibiting trans women to go into the women's bathroom or trans men going into the men's bathroom.
Yeah, it's there in the term women's bathroom.
That's a law.
Yeah.
That's why men can't go in.
That's a law.
Yeah. Yes, there are all sorts of laws against public indecency, for one, against men going into women's sports leagues. There are all sorts of regulations against that, or at least there were until recently. We did not have established in public life transgenderism until very, very recently.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. What about the two-spirited people?
What is the two-spirited people?
This is some crazy PR for schizophrenia. It really is. Like, this is some crazy... Like, you don't see PR like this. Like, this is nuts. Wow.
In the indigenous community, they are... I don't want to get into semantics, but I know that the fact is that there has always been trans people.
Do you know where the phrase two-spirited came from?
I don't.
It came from...
I love how... My favorite part about this is that this person realized how fucking retarded being two-spirited is, and they stopped themselves like 10% into their explanation because they knew that it was stupid. They knew it was fucking stupid. And so they're like, okay, actually, you know what? Let's not talk about that.
It came from the 3rd annual Intertribal Native American First Nations Gay and Lesbian Americans Conference in 1990. And the woman who coined that term...
I just don't think that that's true.
It's true.
Like,
the woman
I don't think that that's true.
Coined that term admitted...
Again,
hold on. Let me just finish my point on this. The woman who coined that term, Maya Laramie, admitted somewhat recently that the term two-spirit came to her in a dream.
I would have never guessed. What a surprise.
1990. Now, the Ojibwe Nation actually has translated this term.
It's the
Niche Mani Duwag, but they translated it from the English in 1990.
How you're capable of eradicating an entire percentage of people by setting laws, because people are
I think you're choosing not to hear what I'm saying, because I'm saying we don't want to eradicate any people. We want to eradicate but the other word is transgenderism, which is an ideology, not a group of people.
I am a transgender person. You can't just
You are a
skip over
confused
that
person, but
I'm
you're
not, babe. I'm so secure in myself, and there's other women in this room that are also trans, have been trans for 20 plus years. 7 years.
What are you doing with it? What you
plus years?
Jesus.
7 years, babe, that know exactly what they're doing.
You're confused because it's not possible for a man to become a woman.
How are you capable of looking at somebody without knowing their bodily autonomy, knowing anything that's going on with their medical history, anything?
Because I know
nothing
I know
about
the
me.
basics of human nature.
You know nothing about me.
I know that you're human. And I know a little bit about human nature. And I know that a boy can't become a girl. So that's what I...
Does anybody want to take that?
She knew, bro. It was over. Yeah, it was over.